The November election will be here before you know it. We're just about 6 weeks out from November 8th. Voters will head to the polls to decide races like U.S. Senate, state representatives in different county offices, just to name a few. Charlie Collicutt from the Guilford County Board of Elections is here with us for the next 30 minutes answering your questions. You can text your questions to us. That number is 336-379-5775. You can get your question answered in real time. So let's go ahead and get started. So what is going on right now? How is the Board of Elections getting ready for the November election?
Yeah, we're doing a lot right now. We're getting our poll workers in. We're training our poll workers. The biggest thing that we're doing right now, as we speak, is receiving requests for absentee ballots, and we are already getting absentee ballots out in the mail. So that's the big process that we're doing. Continuing registration, getting the poll workers ready, and getting ballots out.
Very exciting. So absentee ballots, as you said, they have started going out. Do you expect more people to vote by absentee compared to years past? And if so, why is that?
Yeah, I do. We're not going to see what we saw in the 2020 presidential. That was really a lot. But we will see more than I think in what we've seen in any non-presidential before. I think a couple of reasons. A lot of people did use it in 2020 and liked it. So I think they're going to continue. I think we still are in a place where people don't want to come out and congregate maybe in large settings like the polling place, so they'll use the absentee ballot process. And then also, I think a lot of third-party outside groups have seen that they can get a lot of bang for their buck by focusing their efforts. Instead of get people to the polls, instead try to get them the documentation to get absentee ballots by mail. So I think you're seeing a lot more focus on that than we ever have before.
Very exciting. So on the mind of a lot of our viewers, if they're interested in voting absentee, what is the deadline for that?
Yeah, great. There's a lot to the absentee process, but the first thing is really the deadline. So what all voters must do is request a ballot. A voter can do it for themselves or a near relative or for somebody that they're assisting that may be disabled. So you've got to get a request. You can get it from our Board of Elections office. You can make a request through an online portal. But that deadline is going to be Tuesday, November 1st at 5 p.m. So 1 week before the election. But I would encourage voters, if you want to do by mail, don't wait that long. You can request now. You can get online on our website. You can get that form and you can request today. I'd go ahead and do it now.
Okay, so the sooner the better. Let's talk registration. When is the deadline if you want to vote in the November election?
Yeah, the deadline to vote on election day is Friday, October 14th at 5 p.m. It has to be in our office or postmarked by that day. And that is the deadline to register to vote on election day. Now, we'll talk later about perhaps same-day registration, which is something that can happen if you missed that deadline. But really, we would love for you to get that registration in prior to the 14th if you're not registered. But if you already registered in Guilford County, then you don't have to re-register.
And for those who are not already registered, what do they need to register?
Yeah, to register, you don't need anything. You need to get a registration form. You can download and print that off of our website. You can come into our office and get one of those forms. You can go through the DMV or the DMV's website. A lot of social service agencies have these forms. We can send you one in the mail, but you've got to get that registration form, and you're going to need to give us where you live, where you get your mail, even if it's the same place. We'll need your driver's license number or the last 4 digits of your Social Security, and that's all you're going to need. And then get that into us before the 14th.
Okay, so say if someone hasn't voted in a while and you don't know if you're registered, how can you check on that?
Yeah, great question. You can give us a quick call and we can verify that. Also, they're based off of our website or the State Board of Elections website, and you can just Google those. You can Google the Guilford County Board of Elections. There's a link to a portal where you can actually enter your own name and you can find your registration status. Are you registered? Are you not registered? And if so, where do you vote? You can get your sample ballot. A lot of good information there, but really, are you registered is a great thing that can be answered there.
Okay. So Charlie, I usually do early voting when I go out and vote. For someone who is not familiar, how does early voting work? Walk us through that process.
Yeah, it's similar but different from your normal election day voting. So instead of the normal precinct that you're assigned to for this election, we have 15 sites throughout Guilford County that are going to be open starting on October 20th, and they're going to go up to the Saturday prior to the election, so November 5th. So you've got this 17-day window where we're going to be open for most of those days, where you can go to any one of these 15 sites. You don't have to be assigned to one. You just go to one of the sites that are in Guilford County if you're registered in Guilford County. Most of those sites are open from 8 to 7:30. We'll have a weekend on actually the 29th and the 30th that people can vote. But you go in and you just say your name and where you live, just like every other voter on election day, and it's a great process. So you don't have to be tied down to Tuesday, November 8th at a very specific place.
Okay, great to know. This is a topic that comes up in a lot of conversations. Do you have to be registered with a political party to vote in this election?
No, you don't. You don't have to be registered with a political party at all in North Carolina to participate at all. It can make some differences on what you can vote for in primaries, but note, this is not a primary, this is a general, so it doesn't matter. The recognized parties are in North Carolina. We've got Democrat and Republican, Libertarian, and now Green, or you can be registered unaffiliated. And if you don't put anything down on your reg form, that's fine. You'll be unaffiliated, which is just not affiliated with a party, and you'll be just fine.
Okay, a common question that we get a lot, people email to us and call about, how can you check where you are assigned to vote?
Yeah, great question. So a couple different things that you can do. Again, you can call our Board of Elections office. We have, when you first registered or made a change, we sent you that little card, that little wallet-sized card that will have your polling place on there. But that website that I mentioned earlier, you can get through it through the State Board of Elections website, our Guilford County website. You can enter your name and you can find out exactly what your polling place is, who the candidate you're going to vote for, or you have the ability to vote for. Those kind of things you can find on that website. But yeah, where you go vote is right on there. But if you want to vote early, we have other maps and site lists, because you don't have to be assigned to one of those.
Okay, very helpful information. We're going to take a quick break, but before we go, make sure you text your questions into us to that number 336-379-5775. We'll be right back.